Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of Sequin Girly Creates. It's one of my Sunday Sews updates where we'll just go through things I've been up to, share some plans, talk about other things going on. Thank you so much everybody for the response to my autumn part 1 and part 2 plans. I loved reading your thoughts. I love that I've got you excited about shopping your stash and also think about what patterns you've already got. So it was really lovely the way we had a great chat about what's coming for autumn and winter. Also had some really lovely responses to my detailed patina blouse vlog that I popped up in the week. I have sewn 8 different patina blouses, some of them into dresses, and I thought I would share how I'd done the hacks with you and all sorts of things, and some really great comments around things like the fact that it helps you really think about the fact that you don't keep needing new patterns, which is great because that's always a good cost saving thing, and thinking about how you can use a pattern you've got. Some people saying got the pattern, never used it, encouraged to use it now. Other people thinking about getting it. But also what I want to show you in there is when you've got a pattern, you can play with it. It doesn't have to be the patina blouse. The patina blouse is a really flexible pattern to play with, but you can do it with many patterns, and already my brain is whirring with what next. Let's start with what I'm wearing. So I have on my toile of the Sirocco jumpsuit by Deer and Doe. I will put a picture in for you, but all I can say is I love it. There are some patterns, as you know, that I sew them and I sew them straight away again, and then I make other ones. This is one of them. I know there's a lot out there. If you look at the hashtag on Instagram, if you search, lots of them. I hacked and made a long sleeve version. It's the UK. How often do we get to wear short sleeve? And long sleeve, it's in a fabric I bought in the sale from Rainbow Fabrics last year. It is a bit of a children's fabric. It's like baby lions and baby giraffes and baby monkeys. But you don't want to ruin your best fabric. You want to use a fabric that's like £3.99 a metre when you've never made a pattern before. And I love the styling, I love the shape, I love the construction, I love the fit. I know for some people the fit has been more of a challenge, but that's the thing about patterns, isn't it? Some patterns are drafted for people with some body types, some are drafted for others. There's a wonderful blog if you have a little Google about the Sirocco jumpsuit, and a lady makes 4 different ones, including lengthening the bodice and taking a bit off the crotch and all sorts of different things. So if it doesn't work for you, first go, see if you can play with it, see if you can make it work for you. Sometimes they're the best patterns when you have a good play around. But it's thumbs up for me, to the extent where I've already cut out the next one. If you remember, I got in one of the other Rainbow Fabric sales the really fun banana fabric. Here it is, which the lovely Liz from the Baker That Sews has got as well, and I know she made some t-shirts with it. It's a little bit thinner than this one, but actually in long sleeve with a cardi over the top. I'm looking forward to making that. Just gonna watch out for positioning of bananas, all I can say, but let's see how it goes. It's for wearing at home. If you haven't seen my autumn plans, have a look, because I will be referencing them quite often now because we're moving into autumn and that's where my plans are going. And this answers a lot of the ticks. Tick for soft around the waist, tick for feeling like pyjamas, tick for being snuggly, tick for wearing it when I'm working from home. So why wouldn't I have a banana print version? I'm sure I'll be able to share that with you soon. It is a really great sew. Before I get on to any other sews or anything like that, let's get out the notepad because there's a couple of things I do need to say. I want to tell you about a small channel shout out. So don't forget to use the hashtag small sewing channel that Christine and I set up. It's lovely to see it starting to go out there. It means you can click on it and look for other small channels. We decided the category was under 2,000 subscribers. It allows you to sort of beat the YouTube algorithm a bit. So do head over and have a search for hashtag small sewing channel. So my one for this week is So Do It Emma. I'll link it below. She has got some really interesting vlogs up, and I really love that this is creating ripples of support and encouragement. So please go and have a look at So Do It Emma. I'm really enjoying finding other new channels, and Emma is a great one. So please go and do that for me. I would love it if you could go and give her a little subscribe, give her some likes, give her some love. The virtual sewing room. So the lovely Jenny, who runs the virtual sewing room, reached out to me after I set up the social directory and released a vlog, which hopefully you might have seen, on how to set up a sewing social. She asked me if I would help her. It's getting dark. So the lovely Jenny at the virtual sewing room reached out to me and said, would I do a live Zoom talking more about how to set up a social, answering questions, and did I know anyone else? Well, yes. So the lovely Christine from Gemini Stitches, who runs a sewing social up north and has also organised like a Christmas party where you can make and wear a dress and other things, is coming to talk too. There's me. And we've got the lovely Ruth, who on Instagram is Seamstressed Ruth. She's coming along to talk about what it's like to be a participant. She's been to several different ones, and it was due to the lovely Ruth that I ended up going to the Staffordshire social and feeling welcomed. So the three of us will talk about the different parts of organising one and attending one. You'll hear from three different people. What we do is different. There's no one answer, but we want to sort of give you that sort of encouragement and advice. And so if you want a ticket, head over to the virtual sewing room, where you can pop to Eventbrite. It is free, but you just get a ticket through Eventbrite. If not, I will put it below. You can click through there. I'd love to see you there. Do you know what, even if you're not sure if you do want to set one up, you might still want to hear more about it, because it might help you think for the future if you want to. And also, if you'd like to attend one but you haven't and you're not sure what it would be like to attend one, come over and listen as well, because for me, I find when I go to a new event, I like to know certain things before I go. And so because the lovely Ruth reached out to me, I could ask her all the questions before I went, so I knew what to expect. Be like your friend telling you what to expect, what to expect. And where I set up the sewing social as well, I'm getting to know a lot of the people that are running them. So if you want to reach out to me and I can ask the person who's organising to let you know what to expect, let's do that, because sewing can be a lonely hobby, but me and you together and the sewing socials and the social directory and all the other lovely vloggers out there, we've built our own little sewing family connection. And you know what? You might not even be sewing it, you might be thinking about it. There is always someone out there happy to answer your questions, happy to reach out to you, and I'm happy to help build those connections. So never be frightened to ask. If you don't want to put a comment in the YouTube, I do put my email. You can email me at the end of my vlogs if you stay on to the end. And I also put my Instagram, which is Sequin Girly. You can always DM me on Instagram as well. Bit more love coming now. Two of the lovely people I've met at Sewing Socials also have shops, not selling their sewing wares, but selling other things. So the lovely Nett sells, and I've lost the name now, I'll put it right across the bottom, and things. Nett makes wonderful bears, teddy bears, animals. They are absolutely exquisite, and she has an she has an Etsy shop where you can buy them. Nett is a wonderful person, and she has a YouTube channel too where she talks about sewing, but I will link her Etsy shop below. So if you're looking for a lovely handmade personal item, remember what I've said about small business and how important small businesses are to me. They would be perfect, particularly at some of you when you're thinking about Christmas presents and things. Do head over and have a look. And then Ruth of Seamstressed Ruth on Instagram, who you can meet if you come to the virtual about sewing socials, also has an Etsy shop, and she has made some really gorgeous posters, labels, bespoke things. I'm putting some pictures up here while I'm talking, using her amazing graphic design skills. And again, this is all on Etsy, another small business. So if you want to get something, rather than buying it off some indiscriminate unnamed person, head over and give Ruth some love as well. She's brave, she's putting herself out there, so let's send some back to her too. So right, let's talk about other things I've been up to. So last few weeks I have been super busy with some filming. The autumn sewing plans part 1 and part 2 did cause a bit of a mess, but I cleared it all up. I rolled all the fabric back up and put it away, and it's all back, and my mind is whirring with things. This checked dress here, which if you want to see what it looks like, there's a picture on Instagram. It is a vintage short sleeve shirt dress. That is what I'm going to use as my inspiration for one of my autumn sews, with the lovely checked soft fabric. So I'm having a good look at that, at the details and why I really like wearing it. And I also made a lot of patina items recently and did that filming, so that's all been happening, and you can go and watch those. Obviously made the Sirocco, cut out another one, and I've made some more Donny shirts. So a couple of weeks ago I shared the Donny shirt that I made at my first sewing social. My next one is coming up in less than a week's time, and I'll update you after how it went. But I do like, when I like a pattern, to sew it again quite soon after, playing with the adjustments that I can make while it's fresh in my mind, or as I forget them. I know some people write things down, it's just not who I am. So I made this one. I will pop a picture in as well. This fabric was from Ammo Threads. There you go. And did all of that. And I really like the way that feels. I did bring this further up in the middle because I did feel that too low on the first one I made, as I said. So I'm playing with that part there. I went for a 3/4 length sleeve on this one. Well, we all know why. But it didn't stop there. In my head, I thought, I wonder if the Donny shirt top would work with the Seasons of East skirt, because I really love the flattering line of where the Seasons of East waist falls on me. I love the way the skirt just skims and falls in all the right places, and although I love the Seasons of East top, it's not always the top that you want. It does feel like quite a going outy type top. Now I'm happy to wear those things to work, and I did wear one of the Seasons of East yesterday with a long sleeve top underneath to go and talk at a work networking thing. But sometimes you want something that just feels a little bit less sort of fancy, and so I thought, could I make the Donny blouse, the Donny top, and then fit the Seasons of East skirt on. So I knew I needed to make sure the width that the matched on front and back, and I had to think about whether I would put a side seam invisible zip in. But actually the fabric I'd already cut the Donny shirt out in was slightly stretched. I hadn't planned that, but I realised it was. So I thought, okay, it might work as over the head. It was this fabric, which I bought a while ago from Rainbow Fabric, and the answer is it worked. I did have to cut some of the width off the Donny shirt because it is designed to fall sort of over the waist and hips a bit. I did put on a 3/4 length sleeve. I left it wide to start with, and when I put this on I felt like Margot from The Good Life, full 70s vibe, because the skirt was almost down to the floor, because again I left it long to play with it. I'll put a picture in here. I love it. I love how it worked. I'm going to definitely try it in a full woven. Oh, I'm noticing that I didn't stitch that on very well. So it's interesting, isn't it, when you just suddenly look back at something and go, what was I thinking? Had a little fight at the back when I was doing the yoke at the back, the burrito bit. I caught a bit of fabric in and had to unpick a bit there. So that was like, no, I must do it, because it was like a fold and you lost the nice gathers on the back there. Can you see? But it works really well. I'm really happy with how the waistband works on the skirt. Because of the design of the fabric, you can't really notice it hugely. It probably needs more work, but as a workable toile that will definitely be an at-home wear, if not a like whip out to the shops kind of wear. I don't go to the shops very often. It's perfect. So there will be more of those. So when my brain says, can I? The answer is yes. And I tell you what, the Donny shirt in a but it worked better, the Donny shirt, than the patina blouse because of the way it attaches together at the front. So if you're thinking which one would I make in jersey, I would definitely say the Donny versus the patina. The patina, it's okay, but it's got a bit of an issue around the front because it's not got that structure of buttons and things. But I'm very happy with how that turned out. I have had a few weeks of experiments. That was an experiment, this was an experiment. I made another patina blouse dress that was an experiment. Sometimes I want, like this, a straight sew and just sort of the enjoyment of something that I finish quite quickly, or not necessarily quickly, but smoothly without lots of adjustments. Other times I just want to go where my ideas are going and just try things out, and this is one of those. So watch out for in the future, because I think that is definitely going to be a great item for my autumn/winter wardrobe. And I think that sort of Seasons of East skirt is such a perfect skirt to feel put together but not have anything really tight or uncomfortable. It ticks a lot of those boxes, plus is incredibly flattering for me. I know it's not the same for everyone, but for me it's very flattering. Last thing for today is the follow on from what I spoke about in the autumn plans. Is I've started to do some research around yokes on backs of blouses and tops. I listened to the Love to Sew podcast. I think it's Love to Sew with Helen from Helen's Closet. They were talking about yokes, and I've been looking at pictures of amazing embroidery on yokes and pleating and why yokes are there. And I've been looking at collars and detail, and it's definitely something that I'm going to come back to a lot, because I do feel that whilst I love sewing things like that, I want to take them to the next level. I want to just do something really amazing with a sleeve that just makes it feel like just something with like lots of sort of little pleats at the end, or a gather. I mentioned it in my plans, and I was saying about the 1980s, and someone was saying they took inspiration from the 40s. And I want to keep that going, so I might do a whole sort of inspirational vlog, if that's helpful, of details and things that I've seen. So let me know in the comments below if you would be interested in a vlog about I am also thinking about doing a whole vlog on my breast reduction journey, so if you would be interested in that. I know it's not about sewing, but I know I mention it quite often, and so rather than just keep mentioning it, I thought I might do a whole vlog about it. I had a lovely lady from Australia reach out to me, having heard me mention it in one of my episodes, and she just wanted to ask a few questions about what it's like, recovery time. So if you'd be interested in hearing my journey from how I got to deciding to what it was like, I am happy to share. The other vlogs I've got coming up that I'd love to know if you'd be interested in is I'm happy to do a whole vlog on how I keep costs down, because sewing can be a really expensive hobby. So if you'd like to know, I'm happy to share. I'm definitely going to do a non-garment sewing vlog, and I'm going to do one, I think, on how I drop the feed dogs and use a darning foot to draw with my sewing machine. It's the thing I've done the longest actually using my sewing machine, so I've definitely got one of those planned and coming up as well. Lots of plans, lots to share, lots to do. I could do with a few weeks off work to do all. Hope you've had a good week and another week to come. Mine are still a little bit up and down, but I love being able to interact with you, and you help keep me centered talking about sewing when other things are happening. I look forward to seeing. Don't know what happened there. I look forward to seeing you soon. Don't forget to leave me comments on your thoughts and ideas, even if it's a pattern shout out or what you'd like to hear from me. And I look forward to seeing some of you very soon in the virtual chat we're going to have about sewing socials. It's on I want to say the 11th of October. So do let me know if you're going to come along, so I can say hi to you and we can chat. See you soon. Have a great rest of the weekend.